49er mind is
It's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
49er mind. 49er mind.
Can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A red and gold session. About our red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions. Let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how it's been in the spot. Let's all that back, all that crack, all that straight fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the storyline, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind.
49er mind.
It's not just a thought process,
49er mind.
but a way of life. For sure.
49er mind.
Way of life.
49er mind.
What is up, everybody? We are here. We're live. Got the 49er Minded Raj, RSF 49ers collab show, sponsored by Gold Bar Whiskey. How you doing, Raj?
Feeling good, baby. How we doing? We got a game on Sunday. It's Friday night, and the feeling's all right, man. I'm hyped up. I can't wait for this game because this potentially is the hat and t-shirt game for the 49ers. I don't want to get too cocky, but feeling good.
Hey, man, there's a lot to feel good about this season. We have a playoff run coming up in a few weeks, so very, very excited. Let's just show some love to some people who've been waiting patiently in chat. The chat was blowing up way before the show even started, actually. We got 49ers Throwback is here. What's up, 49ers Throwback? We got Raphael 562. Miguel, try to shout everybody. Miguel Vayo says, hey, what's up, Raj? Thank you. He says, like and subscribe, everyone. It's running on 2 streams, by the way. So hit up for our SF 49ers live channel, as well as a 49er Minded channel. Just hit the like and subscribe on both. And if you can run both streams at once on a different tab, feel free to. Jimmy Perez is here. Says, what's up, Raj and Bashar? Don't forget to smash the like on both channels. And RSF 49ers in the chat. Donald Johnson, what's up, bro? Jimbo. We got Depressed Niner fan. What a name, man. This is, hey, Raj, we're ready for you. Raj is going to be ready, man. He's going to tell us why he's really, really excited. Christine Workman, LA Dodgers. We got hella people up in here, dude. Danny Jara. Hey, Peter. Hey, Peter Parker.
My boy.
And let's do it. Josh P. says, yo, what's up, my man? I'll be at the game this Sunday. We dope to meet the YouTube legend. Okay. Yeah, Raj is going to be there. He says this guy's going to be in section 125.
No doubt. I think I'm close to that section. So I'll as it gets closer to game time, I'll try to hit you up and see what's up. We'll take a picture, take a flick. Yeah, we'll take a flick, man. We'll do it, baby.
Send him a DM on social media. California Man 4000. Now, one thing I'll say is, Raj, anybody who bumps into Raj and meets Raj, it's always a pleasant experience. It's always good times running into you too as well. And yeah, you're just a man of the people, I must say.
Gotta hype him up, man. I got you. I did the little.
Yeah, you did
that.
Last time he saw me, he did the Jim Harbaugh as if I was Alex Smith or Kaepernick. It was pretty crazy.
I left you.
Hey, you know what? It worked because a few seconds later, I was like, Niners! I got all pumped up. It was infectious, you know. So yep. That was good times. Frank Tom Motions here, Carl Thomas, Tej Beats, a hell of people over here. Danielle, yeah. So shout out to all the Niner Empire, Niner faithful in the chat. You're gonna be in Arizona. Let everybody know what's going on over there.
Yeah, man, I'm hyped up. Gold Bar, the new sponsor, they got me taken care of. They're gonna get me out to Arizona. So we've done some sponsorship for them through the year. I'm gonna try to do some with them this weekend, but it's going to be tough because I have flight. By the time I get there, there's like an invasion party. I'm going to try to be there, but my boy 49ers Tailgate, Ken, he'll be doing a lot of the invasion stuff. So hopefully I get to make it out there and do some promos with them. But I'll check in on the tailgates on Sunday morning, say what's up to everybody, do little promos. But I'm excited. I want to see a new stadium. I've never been to the stadium, so I'm going to try to get as much content as I can from there. It's going to be Brock Purdy's homecoming. I'm going to be on the home side, or the visitor side. So hopefully we get some good content of Brock and his family. I'm going to keep an eye out for that. So I'm just excited, man, to be in Arizona and watching a road game. And again, this could be the game where the 49ers clinch the NFC West. So I'm hyped to be there if that's the case. I really want to see, a division clinching game. I've never seen it, in person. So this will be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. First time Brock's going to play at that stadium and in front of all his family and friends. And I hope he's up to the occasion, man. I know, but Brock, I mean, he's just got this special ability to not let things change his psyche and not get rattled. And he's very, very focused. His focus is elite, I must say, I mean,
Yeah.
when Jerry Rice went up to him, right? Jerry Rice is
Ah.
had it like if that was you or me, would be like, damn, that's Jerry Rice.
I'm like, Jerry, oh my God. But this boy, he's just calm, cool, collected. I think when I posted about it this week, everybody posted about it. But when I posted about it, I said he was calm in the presence of greatness. He really was. And when I talked to Larry Krueger this week, because I brought it up with him. Actually, he always asks me every week when we're done. He goes, "Hey, so I'm going to Levi's tomorrow because he does the media stuff." And he's like, "What question should I ask Brock?" I was like, "Dude, you got to ask him about what did Jerry Rice say to him? Like, what did that was to me? That's cool. Like everybody's gonna ask him about the backwards hat, the Cam Newton. They're gonna ask him all those weird questions." But I said, ask him what Jerry Rice said. And he did. So I shared it on my Instagram story. He put the video up. And basically, Brock was so humble about it. He's like, oh, yeah, Jerry just told me to go ball out. And it was like, no big deal. I was like, no big deal, bro. It's Jerry Rice. The kid is unfazed, man. I love it. He's just so calm, collected. He's like a young Joe Montana, man. He's cool. So I love it.
Yeah, it's almost like when Jerry Rice did that, and we said we get all excited. Brock Purdy was more like, "What's up?" Yeah, this stuff is normal for me. You know what I mean? Got something for you. He says, "Say hi to Lori Matthews, Rod. She lives in Arizona and taking her daughter to the game."
Let's go. What's up, Lori Matthews? Hopefully we run into you too. I mean, we got a lot of Niner fans headed to Arizona this weekend. Did you know? About 61% at least of Niner fans are going to be in the building. Like they're taking over the stadium. I mean, it's a game where the 49ers should be able to dominate. They're letting the 49ers wear their home jerseys.
Home jerseys.
Their red jerseys because I guess Arizona's wearing their nice new like all white jerseys. They're sleek, but come on, man. You don't wear road jerseys at home. But I know they think they're like, okay, we just got to Niners are home, really. More fans here. It's crazy to me. But honestly, this is the first time the 49ers, I think you mentioned it, have played in Arizona in 2 years, actually, because last year when it was an Arizona home game, they played in Mexico. They didn't play in Arizona. And then, of course, the year before, when 49ers played in Arizona, Trey Lance came in because Jimmy Garoppolo was injured. So this is the first time Brock Purdy's actually, like you said, played in Arizona in front of his family. So this is going to be cool. And then the other thing is Arizona and the Niners, you got a lot of history here because, of course, divisions. But a few years ago when it was the COVID year, 49ers didn't even have a stadium. You remember that? And they actually shared the stadium with Arizona. So it's kind of a home away from home for the 49ers. So it's pretty funny, man.
Yeah, I remember that when Santa Clara kicked out the 49ers of their own stadium. I didn't understand the logic behind it. I think we were the only team in the entire league to have that done to us, which was ridiculous, man. That was just a weird season. All the fake crowd noise pumped in on the TV broadcasts and empty stadiums. And thank God we actually have real games now with real stadiums and real crowds. So that's good to know. Like you said, 60% of the crowd is going to be Niner fans. Usually there's a good amount of Niner fans in Arizona, but I think now more so than ever. Shout out to Mariah from 49 Faithful Heat Podcast. I do the Bring the Heat podcast with her every Tuesday. She's going to be at the game. And I'm not sure which other content creators are going to be there, though, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Niner chatters and content creators going to be at the game, and it'll be a lot of fun. I wish I had made plans to come out, and now I feel bad that I didn't do so. But at least you're going to be out there repping.
Oh,
but let's talk about this guy, Cam Newton, man. What did you think about his words for Brock? I mean, what was he trying to say? Brock's a game manager, and he doesn't necessarily move the needle. He's not a game changer. I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, he tried to explain himself last night. He posted another thing. He's got his podcast, and he says that Brock Purdy, Tua, Jared Goff, and Dak Prescott, they're game managers. They're not game changers. They don't do anything to change the game, to elevate the game, to put the team on their back. It's not he basically says the reason those teams win, especially the 49ers, when he mentioned Brock, he goes, he doesn't do anything that is the reason the 49ers win. And that's to me is baloney. As I said the other day, I said, honestly, Cam Newton is Mr. Irrelevant at this point. He's washed out of the league. He was great at one point. Don't get me wrong. The thing when you talk about this whole situation is he's not a terrible player overall. He was a great player at one point. He was an MVP. So of course he has some, jurisdiction. He could say what he wants to say. He's a former quarterback in the league that had success. But to sit here and say that these guys are game managers, they're MVP candidates. And then he tried to clarify and try to explain what he thought a game manager was. And it's not a bad thing, but honestly, man, Brock Purdy's doing more than just managing games. He's throwing the pass deep. he said it himself. Like his arm feels the best it's ever felt. And he says he's thrown the ball better than he's ever thrown deep. He's pushing the ball down the field. He's 23. He's going to learn how to get that, a deep pass rolling and develop his arm strength. He's in the NFL weight room. So you look at Brock Purdy, and yeah, he has great weapons, but what great quarterback didn't have great weapons if they're successful, right? Peyton Manning, Kurt Warner, Patrick Mahomes, all these guys, Tom Brady, to an extent, they had really good players around them, and they know how to utilize those players. That's the thing is, yes, you can have good players, but if you have good players and you don't know how to use them, what's the good of it? Like every team, not every team, but almost every team in the NFL, you can sit there and say, oh, they got great weapons. Look at the offseason. Look at the Panthers. They got all these weapons. Oh, look at the Raiders. They got Devontae Adams. They got this guy. Oh, they got all these weapons. The quarterback can't elevate those players. So, yes, you might have good players, but it's up to the quarterback to elevate the team. And look at this offense. And I know the 49ers have CMC and Debo and all these guys, but they've had a lot of these guys for the last couple of years. They weren't scoring 30 points. They weren't scoring, 35, 40 points at the rate they're doing. They're not pushing the ball down like they have been. Brock Purdy is, in my mind, he's a game changer. He elevates the game.
I definitely agree. I mean, everything changed with this team once Brock Purdy took over. And he was doing it, obviously, last year. He just saw a significant impact when he stepped in after Jimmy G got hurt. And Jimmy G was putting up good numbers before he got hurt, actually. He was having a good season, with the addition of CMC. But Brock Purdy stepped in. You could just tell things were a notch or two better. Now, this season, things are about 2 to 3 notches better because Purdy's just elevated his game even more. I mean, you mentioned the deep pass. I mean, we barely ever throw the ball deep on this team, right? But the point is that when we do, it's like the success rate is so high on his deep passes. The accuracy's there, the timing's there, the ball placement's there, you name it. And it's not like this overwhelming deep ball of a quarterback who can, like Mahomes or Josh Allen or anything like that. But you can actually, I hate to say his name, I really do, but you can liken it to a Joe Montana type deep ball. Go back and watch the deep balls Joe Montana threw in his career, and the accuracy, the timing, the ball placement were all there. It wasn't the furthest pass, but I mean, Brock Purdy's deep balls are usually like 35 to 40 air yards, which is still pretty good if you're going to be the nitpicker and say he doesn't throw the ball far enough. And I had some people say that, oh, he only threw it this many yards and Ayuk did the rest. Like, what's Ayuk supposed to do? Fall down? Like, I don't understand some of these people, man. They try to discredit anything Brock does. And my point with Brock is he's never had elite pass protection. Every now and then he may have time to throw, but so many times he's made like really, really nice throws down the field. Plenty of consistent 20-yard plus the field throws down the field with guys in his face, guys that are about to hit him, and he's running out of the pocket. What impresses me the most about the guy is on the run where he looks like he's about to get sacked. He's scrambling. I'm like, okay, cool. He got away from the guy. I thought he was about to get hit. Next thing I know, he's throwing it, and I'll go, wow, he's going to throw on this play. I thought he was going to run. And then when he throws, the accuracy is there, the timing's there, just like all the other throws, and boom, it's a completion. So he definitely does things on his own. I mean, sure, he has really, really nice weapons. We get that, but he makes some excellent throws at the same time. And we haven't had a quarterback make throws like this, in my opinion, on this level since Steve Young.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's doing things we haven't seen in a very, very, very long time, man. It's fun to see. And you're right. He improvises. He stretches the field with his legs. Like he's doing more than just checking it down. If you look at his average, he leads the NFL in yards per attempt or yards per completion. Like I get it. There's yak guys, but you're right. Like you throw it to those guys. If you're the defender, it's your job to tackle him. It's not his fault. It's not Brock Purdy's fault that you can't tackle Debo, Brad, and Ayuk. But there's so many times where he does throw it downfield and he's pushing the ball down the field. But I think the whole narrative is he's the last pick in the draft. He can't be this good. At some point, it's gonna, the fantasy is gonna be over. I think people are just waiting and say, oh, you know what? He's just a gimmick. It's just beginner's luck. It's just he's lucky, right? Oh, he just has the system. He just has this. He just has that. At some point, they're gonna have to accept the fact that he's actually a good player, and this is one of the greatest stories in the NFL history. If he continues to play like this every year for the next at least 5 to 6 years, he's a great quarterback, no matter how you slice it. He's the last pick of the draft. And at this point, draft status doesn't matter, man. It's 2023. It's not, it's not 1987. Those last picks mean something nowadays. It's a different league. Parity's big in the NFL, not just in draft picks, but look, undrafted players come out of nowhere nowadays. It's just sometimes people go through the pipeline and they get missed. But people are mad that they're missing on these prospects. And Brock Purdy was supposed to be, he's too small. He doesn't have the arm strength. He's this, he's that. But he's proven everybody wrong. And you know what? As far as Cam Newton, the last thing I'll say is, and I'm sure a lot of people have commented this, is he got beat out by Mac Jones in New England. The last time I remember Cam Newton, he got beat out by Mac Jones. So I get it. He's a great quarterback when he was healthy and he was vibing and everything for that matter. But, you know, his legacy was tainted in the Super Bowl when he didn't recover that fumble and he got beat out by Mac Jones. So really, I don't think he has a leg to stand on. But hey, it made for great content this week and a lot of arguments. And, you know, the one thing that I thought this week, I was like, man, you know, no matter what you do as a 49er content creator, no matter what you do as a 49er fan, you know, every year you think, okay, this is finally the year where we're not going to have to sit here and talk about quarterback and this and that. And in the past, it was like, oh, a quarterback would get, oh, Jimmy's not good enough, this and that. Now we're defending Brock Purdy and saying he's an MVP, whereas the rest of the league is throwing it on him. And it's like, okay, we're still back to basics at the end of the day. After every week, we're still sitting here talking about the 49ers quarterback. But now it's a little different. It's crazy. I don't think we'll ever escape talking about 49ers quarterback in 49ers
It's always
content.
It's always a topic of conversation, man.
Yeah,
you never have
always.
anything to talk about. Just, hey, look, guess what? We can talk about the 49ers quarterback. Hey, and he's in the MVP talks. If you like it or not, he's in the MVP talks. I mean, he's putting up numbers better than almost any player in the league right now at that position. So, I mean, hey, I like this right here. It says Brock is a soldier of Christ. Yeah, his spirituality is very close to his heart. He's a very humbling person. He's all about the team. I mean, even if he gets the MVP, he's gonna owe it all to the teammates if he does get it. So, I mean, you know, Brock Purdy's just a great person in general. And let's see what this guy says. Cam Newton is jealous of Brock, California Man 4000. I mean, last time we played Cam Newton when he was with the Patriots, he was pretty trash, man. That's all I gotta say. I mean, he was just not, like you mentioned, the whole thing with Matt Jones beating him out. I'm not surprised because, yeah, Cam's just, he's seen better days. Let's just say that. And there's a reason why he's not in a team right now. This is pretty cool. Observe Natural Evolution says Cam is a salty little bitch. In my opinion, he hasn't been the same since his truck accident. Cam just can't move on from what he could have been. He was good at one point, but you know, Carolina ran him to the ground, in my opinion, and he's just never been the same ever since. Low Jackson says Cam also said Manning and Purdy are game managers. That's pretty funny. Hey, that's great company to be in. And for Purdy, then that's it. I'll take it. Yeah. If you're gonna call him a game manager. Let's see. So who else we got in here? I might have missed somebody new. Oh, Pterodone's up in here. What up, Pterodone? Good to see you, bro. We had him. He was on the post game show with Raj and myself. Not too long ago. We had so much fun that night. It was really cool. Yeah, Beef show. Supreme says Super Bowl MVP Purdy. A little too far ahead. But hey, I'll take it if it happens, man. Fired up 49er in the house. He said, did I mention we had the best uniforms as well? Oh, our uniforms are very, very nice. He says, we got the best quarterback, best receiving core, best defense, best coach, best GM. There was a really, really funny tweet. Back to Brock Purdy really quick. There was a pretty funny tweet by Brian Rennick that I wanted to put up on my screen really, really quick. Since we're talking about Brock Purdy. And I think it's very relevant to what we're talking about. And yeah, I'm just happy to get him. And when you mentioned the whole draft thing, I'm sure there's a lot of NFL GMs, a lot of NFL coaches in this league that would love to draft what the players that we draft in those lower rounds. I mean, it's very, very impressive. I just hope that we can have more of a complete draft this time around. Now that we got a first rounder and a second rounder. But here's a tweet that I posted on my Instagram from Brian Rennick. Shout out to Brian Rennick. Says Brock Purdy has broken so many brains with his play that the new criteria for MVP level quarterback play is as follows. 1, cannot have a good coach. 2, cannot have more than one weapon. 3, every pass must be a tight window throw. 4, wide receivers must fall down immediately after catching a pass. I thought that was genius. And
that's awesome. I didn't see that tweet.
You didn't see that? Okay. I had tweeted it, and then I put it on my Instagram too.
I got to see that. That's a great tweet. Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
That's a good tweet, man.
Yeah, just go on Brian Rennick's Twitter or I screenshotted it and put it on my Instagram. But yeah, I mean, this is sitting back and watching the games. So, you know, even when all those people defended Jimmy and say he won all those games, I get it. The team was winning games. We went to the playoffs. There are plenty of games where I sat back and I'm cursing, I'm throwing things, I'm, just leaving nasty messages to my friends about how frustrated I am. And now I just sit back, put up my legs on the couch and enjoy, and I'm happy all throughout the game, man, for the most part.
Yeah. Oh, it's so refreshing to and like I said, we're sitting here talking about quarterbacks, but it's not like a bad thing it's not like, oh my God, did you see that intercept? Did you see that miss that? Oh my God. Like, we're not like crying about it. We're not sitting here like on Monday Morning Quarterback and sitting here going, oh my God, they need a new goal. When are they going to play this quarterback? Might as well bench them and try. We're not even like, it's so nice to sit here like on Monday and we're like hyping up Brock. Like, oh my God, look at the stats, and everybody's posting his stats and like, oh, Brock Purdy, MVP? Is he going to be MVP? Oh, is it Dak Prescott? Like, regardless if he wins or not, Bash, it's just nice to have a quarterback that's in that conversation. Like, he's in the conversation with Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts. Like, he's in that category. We've been looking for a guy to be in that category for many, many, many years. Like you said, Steve Young was the last time this team had an MVP at quarterback, right? And no disrespect to Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia was a great quarterback. But even even when they got to Jeff Garcia, it was like they were still searching for something. Like, they just didn't have enough, to elevate him to the top. But he was good. And now it seems like, oh my God, they might have found the next one for this franchise. It is so refreshing. Like you said, I wake up and whenever I see news about the quarterback, it's like, oh man, look at the stat. Oh my God. NFC FedEx Air Player of the Week. Oh my God. NFC Player of the Week. Like, he's just always nominated for awards, and that's something we haven't been able to see for a long time. We're not sitting here crying about his interceptions and like bad fumbles at the end of game that cost us. We are sitting here talking about, oh man, did you see Brock Purdy's 4 touchdowns last night? Let's fucking go. I love Brock Purdy, man.
Let's go. So you got a new member to your channel there.
Yo, shout out to Frank Tom Ocean. We got a new member to the YouTube channel. There we go, man. Shout out to Frank Tom Ocean. Yo, this guy has been following me, I know, on the YouTube for a while, and also on Instagram and everything. So shout out to my man, Frank Tom. As you guys know, we started a channel and, we had to restart. So now we have memberships. We came a long way. So shout out to the new members and everybody that, supports this channel and the Instagram, and everybody that supports my boy Bash, man. That's my guy. So I'm glad that we're doing this every Friday this season. It's been fun with you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. It's been awesome. We got Fazil in the chat, says Raja Bashar, shout out to you, bro. He's already throwing up his score predictions. He says 34-17. I got my prediction written down, which we will cover later.
Yes, sir.
And Beef Supreme says Cam was a deal. They're still talking about Cam. We open
up
Cam.
Let them go. They're going to have a lot of comments. So I want to get to this question after. Go ahead and put that question up. But before we do, there's a lot of injuries for the 49ers. So I want to talk about the injuries and what do you think about the players that are going to be stepping in for those injuries. I want to go over that kind of stuff, prepare, get kind of into the nitty gritty of this Sunday, and we'll go over that. But let me take a look and see what Ethan has. He says, I don't know why having a cannon arm is such a big deal. I know you want that in a quarterback, but if he's making accurate passes most of the time, shouldn't matter what you want Brock to throw. 50 plus every play. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to throw the ball 50 yards down the field every time. You have to prep, you have to set that kind of stuff up. You have to set it up. You have to run the ball. And in Kyle Shanahan's offense, you're not dropping 50-yard bombs. It's you're catching teams off, off guard when you're throwing it deep. And look at the 49ers. To have that deep pass now is like their secret ammunition. It's like going for the jugular, Every week it's kind of close game here and there. And then third quarter comes, Kyle's like, all right, reins are up. Go do it, Brock. And he drops a big pass in the third quarter almost weekly now. And once he hits that big pass, it's like, okay, here come the floodgates. And then after that, teams are reeling. They're like, okay, we can't defend the deep pass. We can't defend the middle. We can't defend Christian McCaffrey. So it's just another arsenal in Brock Purdy's, toolbox. And he's right, man. You don't have to sit there and throw 50 yards every play. And sometimes you'll get intercepted. Sometimes, the pressure comes and you're going to throw an ugly ball. And that's just going to, that's just overworking. You just run the offense the way it needs to be ran and do your thing, man. He's accurate. Like you said, pinpoint accuracy, his timing. He's got good command of this offense, and he's poised, man. That's all that matters. He's winning games, and he's delivering big stats. He doesn't have to throw 50 yards every time. And, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have come into this league. Big arm. Oh, my God, they're a super athlete. But they don't pan out because they don't have the intangibles. They're not calm in the pocket. They can't, escape pressure. They can't do the small things. They can't read a defense. They can't do the checkdowns. Sometimes you have to do those things instead of always throwing the ball deep down the field. So I'm happy Brock's the quarterback, man.
I mean, I'm thinking back to Jeff Garcia's best years. I'm thinking back to the best we saw from Jimmy, the best we saw from Colin Kaepernick. I can't think any of those guys. I don't think they can even come close to the way Brock diagnoses the blitz. The way he diagnoses the blitz, and then the way he throws when he is blitz and has people running at him or hitting him or whatever. That the way he just completes those passes under duress is just incredible, in my opinion. It's highly underrated. And when he's in there, they mentioned the whole deep ball. The West Coast offense and Shanahan offense, the way I see it, it's more important that the offense runs like clockwork and the timing's there. Like when Purdy's in there, things are just running. It's like boom, 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 boom. First possession of the game, touchdown, right?
Yeah.
So even if it's only a 5-yard pass or a little 1-yard run to CMC, I can care less. And every now and then you are going to have that game like we did against the Eagles, right? Where you just throw a little short little pass to Deebo Samuels, and then Samuel, not Samuels.
Samuels. I like when people call him Samuels.
I always laugh at it, and I never say it for some reason. I said it. I don't know why, but my point is like Deebo's gonna have one of those games where he runs all over the field like the Tasmanian devil, right? And I'll take one of those games to make Purdy's job easier. But that's not. We haven't been seeing that every single game, and I think a lot of people are missing how many throws down the field on kind of a consistent basis he's been making, because he's been doing it a whole lot all throughout the year. Ji'Ayir, Deebo, Kittle, you name it. So it's really, really nice. It's a luxury, and we got some more people here. We got Don Dotson. We got Damian watching over on Twitter. Right now on StreamYard, they tell you when people are watching on Twitter. They let you know.
Yeah,
but if you're on
man.
Twitter on YouTube, just make sure you like both YouTube channels.
Did you know that StreamYard and Restream, for that matter, they have finally launched Instagram? Bro, I'm gonna start cooking it now,
I was messing with it today. I didn't get to run a test stream.
Yeah,
I know it's got some weird.
It's a little different.
I don't know if it would show us. So I think it's only like built.
It's one screen. Yeah, don't do a split screen. But for my like individual streams, I think it might be good for me. So to run both, streams, Twitter and Instagram, because I run 2 streams a night. Sometimes I'm like, it's a lot. So
no, it would make perfect sense for you.
Yeah, it'll be good. But
I was curious to try it too, because I got my camera set up here. Like the times I have gone on Instagram with you, or just I did it once on my channel. Like I had to prop my camera on something, and I prop my phone on something, and usually I have this camera here where it sits on a tripod, and it's just so much easier.
Yeah.
So, and I actually had to set up my Instagram account to professional Instagram account, so I could do it from my laptop now.
Yeah.
So I could go live with my laptop if I want to do that. So that's pretty cool.
It's cool.
We got, I don't know what he's talking about. He's how the F does that happen? Blood Moon, but shout out to him. Submits here. So if Cam was a game changer, he would have won that Super Bowl. Yeah, he played a game manager in Peyton Manning that year. Peyton Manning was the ultimate game manager
at that year, because he was old at that point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't really making plays, but he wasn't making mistakes either. But it was more than enough, or just enough, for them to win it all. So
he beat Cam, Super Cam. I think he's just jealous, man. And real quick, I know we talked about Brock a lot tonight, but there's so much to talk about him. Going back to him is you hit the nail on the head. Yes, he is running the West Coast offense. That's the best thing to point out, is the West Coast offense isn't all about throwing deep pass. Like sometimes you could throw the little play action deep pass, boom, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, flash 80. You call that play, and now it's Deebo Samuel. We saw that this weekend, little flash 19, throw it deep to Kittle. Like sometimes that happens, but the West Coast offense, Bash, is a boom, quick 1, 2, 3, drop, boom. You have to have your plays ready. You have to know where players are going to be. You're throwing it before they even turn. And that's what Joe Montana did. That's what Steve Young did. They were throwing it before Jerry Rice even made his cut. And when he cuts, the ball's there. Like that's exactly what it's about. Rhythm, timing, the 3-step drop, the 4-step drop. I watched the whole video before, and it shows like how Joe Montana and Bill Walsh and how they revolutionized the West Coast offense, and then the Shanahan. And it really, for 20 minutes of the video at the beginning, it just showed like Montana stepping back. Okay, now look, this is the drop here. Now watch his pivot leg. Like they break it down so much. It's all about the timing. It's not about deep pass, man. So you're right. You hit it on the head on that one.
Yeah, and then the footwork of Purdy is just exceptional in my opinion as well. It's like all these things a veteran quarterback does after 3 or 4 years of experience. It's pretty much what you're getting in Brock, but yet it's him like right off the bat at 23. It's something I haven't seen in quite some time. And
Yeah,
if people think we're overhyping him, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to this. I'm not used
I
to.
know.
And I was a guy who wanted Trey Lance to be the guy and succeed, and I can go on and on about that. But when you have somebody else take over and they're ready right then and there, that's who you're going to rock with, man.
That's right.
That's what it boils down to.
I'm looking at some of these comments real quick. I want to take a look at it. So
that's
it says,
right
real quick, says, let's see. Don says he subscribed to the channel. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. He says, okay, Cub says I smashed it harder than Bashir smacked that sippy smashed that sippy cup. Oh, man.
Where does it say that? I missed that. I want to see that. I want to put that on the
I just see it in the chat. I'm reading the comments. I can't since I think you started the stream. I can't.
Well, you know what? It might say the time. They'll give me the timestamp.
It doesn't have the timestamp on mine.
It doesn't have a timestamp. Then what's it do?
No. It's let me see. It is let me go back to it. Hold up. Oh no, where's it at? Oh, right here. Okay, Cub.
Okay, Cub. Oh, fine. I'll look for it. Yeah. I don't see it right now. It's just so many comments. Like, oh, here it is.
There's a lot.
I see him right there where he's talking about Hufanga. Yeah. Hufanga makes a bonehead. Other talking about Hufanga. I mean, I do miss Hufanga, but it's unfortunate. Injuries do happen in the NFL, and we are very, very fortunate that Ji'Ayir Brown is in the mix. I mean, played very well. He's got 2 interceptions already. He almost got the interception where Fred Warner got it, and he let Fred Warner have that interception. And what impressed me most about Ji'Ayir Brown, more so than anything else, is he's barely been on the field. Yeah, I see him mic'd up and corralling the troops and just yelling and screaming at everybody, get him hyped and let him know, hey, man, he's the leader of this defense, man. That was pretty crazy to see. And you're muted, Mike. You're muted.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no, the Ji'Ayir Brown, man, he's a special player, great mentality. He's going to be a great player. You could see why they traded up for him. The guy's just making plays. He's a definite ball hawk, man. He has a knack for the ball. I love this guy. He's going to be great. He's playing on this team, and they have great veterans for him, and he's learning real quick. You have Fred Warner around him, Tashawn Gibson, Logan Ryan, Jason Brett. All these guys are going to mold this man. And when he's, got a couple of games under his belt next year and, he gets through the playoff run, he's going to be a special, special player. I don't know if you watched the Richard Sherman podcast this weekend this week. This week, oh man, he had Ji'Ayir Brown on him. That was one of the best conversations I've seen in a long time. Yeah, Richard was just so he was hyping this man up, and he told him, he's like, you remind me of myself when I was, your age at that point. He goes, you just got that tenacity. So for Sherman to say that, it's big, man, and this kid's been great, man. I love Hufanga, but this guy's special. They're gonna have a great duo at safety together with Tig and Hufanga.
Tig.
Man.
I'm not used to calling him Tig though, but everybody calls him that.
They call him that Tig.
Okay, Cub said I smashed it harder than Bashar smashed that sippy cup. This is pretty solid, bro. It's much more than a sippy cup. I love it. I found this at Marshall's for like $15, and I love it. It's like
I love it, coolest... man. Sippy cup bash, man. I like it. Sippy cup. I like it.
I be sipping nickname. Gold Bar whiskey out of the rocks.
Oh.
Talk about the Gold Bar whiskey song that Wayne Breezy and Travis
Gold
King
Bar in that cup, baby.
Yeah, I know. I don't have any.
I'll send you some.
Where's the bottle?
You want to see that? I got so many of these, but I always have one out to show it on the show. But yeah, I'll say you want some, I'll get you some.
I was at Costco not too long ago, and I know they sell them at Costco, but I didn't. At least the Costco where I live in Rosebud, I didn't see it.
They got them everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, maybe at Bevmo or something.
Yeah, check them out. Next time we'll run into each other. If I have some, I'll give you some. So,
we got a question for you. He said, Raj, you get a Baconator?
No, I didn't get a Baconator.
Well, what was that, bro? Was there something else tied to that?
No, because I had a Wendy's cup. I think.
Oh, you had a Wendy's. That's right. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I just got a bacon cheeseburger. It was good.
Okay, it did have bacon though. So
it did, yeah. It was like the mini Baconator, I guess.
Yeah. So Armstead and Gravedigger are out, and Arizona runs the ball good. They got James Conner, Kinlaw's coming up. We got Kalia Davis. What do you think about the whole D tackle and all the other guys that are out, man?
Yeah. So let's bring up the injuries. That's a good segue to bring up the injuries. So yes, as we know, the 49ers are going to be without Javon Hargrave and Arik Armstead this weekend. They're out. They're out, officially out. And those two guys are run stuffers galore. But if there's a week to let them rest, this is the week, because after this week, they got the Ravens coming up, and then you got the Commanders on New Year's Eve, and then the Rams after that. You got 3 tough games you got to kind of be able to grind out, and you need these guys for the stretch run. So I think it's smart to let them sit out. It sucks because the Cardinals run the ball well. They got Kyler Murray. They got James Conner. And this is a James Conner revenge game. If you remember the last time the Niners and the Cardinals played, Hufanga and Conner, man, they got into it. I wish Hufanga was back just for this game. I wish he was back in general because I don't want the injury. But I wish Hufanga was there because I know he'd line that shit up and he'd let James Conner have it. So hopefully somebody gets hopefully somebody gets Hufanga's lick back for this game. Because remember that? James Conner and him, they got into it at the end of the game. And I'm sure he's going to remember that going into this game. He's going to try to run all over the Niners. So losing those two is going to be big in the run stuffing game. But Javon Kinlaw's played really good. And Kalia Davis is playing pretty good, since he's had some more opportunities.
He had a sack on his first game, man.
Yeah. And
Kinlaw's been getting sacks lately.
He's balling, baby. And then they got Kevin Givens. So they got depth. But it is going to be a test for these guys because Hargrave and Armstead are Pro Bowl guys. So it's going to be tough without those guys. What do you think about losing Armstead and Hargrave this weekend?
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, but maybe they're just resting them because they know we're not playing a strong team. So maybe if it was a much more important, relevant game, it'd probably be on the field. So, but I am happy that Kalia Davis was finally activated. And again, I was really high. I didn't know that he was going to be activated for the Eagles game. So I got super hyped when I saw him out there because I was talking him up for quite some time because I thought he could have been like a DJ Jones prototype guy. Former linebacker converted to D tackle, so he's got a little wiggle to him. And lo and behold, his first game he had a sack. So about 6'1", 320. Excited to see him. And just after all that Kinlaw's been through as a Niner, all the criticism he's gotten, he just stepped up as of late. And he's, points at times in the pass rush, he's even stepping up and pushing the pocket. I'm like, okay, there you go. A lot of people said he could only stop the run. And so, I welcome it. And the D-line in general, ever since we got Chase Young, even when Chase Young's not on the field, the D-line just looks so much better.
Yeah.
Something happened. I don't know what it was, man.
Well, they're playing. Yeah, they got Chase Young, Randy Gregory there. Nick Bosa's back to being Nick Bosa has been Nick Bosa, man. He's playing inside, outside. He's found the pep in his step. The money might have hit his bank account officially, and I think that's what's happening is Nick Bosa's playing like, the highest paid defender in the NFL. So it's nice, man. This defensive line is cooking it up. And you're right. It's nice to see Kinlaw playing good because all the years of adversity and the injuries and the trash talk he had to endure. So it's nice to see him playing. And these guys are grinding. But, this is a tough week for them. Just because it's a team without a lot of wins doesn't mean it's going to be an easy game. And losing two big guys like that is tough, So a couple other injuries out there. So they're going to be without Oren Burks, without Elijah Mitchell, without Ross Dwelly again, and questionable Charvarius Ward. John Lynch said he has a chance to go. Dre Greenlaw's questionable, but Steve Wilkes said he's going to play this week. Aaron Banks is questionable, and Spencer Burford is questionable. But I think Banks and Burford should play. But if one of those guys don't, they got John Feliciano, who's been solid. So that's the injury list. I hope Charvarius.
It's like you watch these games. Sorry to cut you off. But you watch these games, and then like you mentioned Charvarius Ward, right? And we saw it when he got injured, but a lot of times during these games, I don't see guys getting hurt, but then the injury report will be like 10 players long,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Well,
we got Aaron showing some love with the donation.
Shout out to my boy 49ers First Take, my co-host, Bash's co-host, Big Aaron in the building. Thanks, man.
Shout out to Aaron doing big things at the 49ers First Takes podcast. We're going to go live tomorrow on this channel tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So
let's go.
Check us out. Danny Golding's here. Shout out to Danny Golding. I've known him on YouTube and Facebook for a long, long time. One of the 49er YouTube originals says, what's up? I'm going to the game on Sunday. He lives in Arizona, man.
Let's go.
So I ran into him once when we played the New York Giants at Levi's.
Nice.
Christine Workman says, I wanted this revenge, but prayers for Hufanga. I know there was a question for you in the chat. I was looking for it. It's here goes a question. Raj, what part of India are you from?
Yeah, so my family's from like southern India. Actually, my dad was born in Madras, so down south in India. So that's where we're from. I have family in like Chennai and pretty much that area, Madras mainly. But yeah, that's where we're at, from down south in India.
I want to mention the DBs really, really quick because
I
remember we were at the point where a lot of Niner fans were pissy. I wasn't necessarily one of those guys, but I did hear a lot. I'm sure you heard it as well. Let's trade for Patrick Surtain. Let's trade for a cornerback. Let's get this guy. And like, I was always like the pass rush first type of guy. Get that pass rush first, and then everything else will settle. And that's pretty much what's happened, man. The DBs are just stepping up big time. we have a nice collection of young DBs, Ambry Thomas, Demo, and we haven't really used Womack yet, and we haven't really used Darrell Luter yet, but those guys may step up. And in general, the whole secondary just seems a lot more deeper now that we got JV in the mix, Jason Verrett.
Yeah.
He's asking you, do you think they elevate Jason Verrett? We got Logan Ryan in the mix too.
Yeah. So good question. So yeah, honestly, this is the best depth I've seen this 49ers defensive back have in a long time, especially under Kyle and John Lynch kind of regime. Like cornerback's always an issue. But now, man, they got great talent at cornerback. Like you said, you hit it. Demo and Ambry been balling, man. Demo so versatile. He can play inside, outside. Mooney Ward, man, playing like a top 5 cornerback in the league. He leads the NFL in PBUs. And like he said, he goes, if I turn some of those PBUs into INTs, man, I'm top dog. And he's confident. He's shutting down some of the top receivers. So it's cool to see that. I think they could elevate JV, but I don't know if he's going to have a big role just yet. I think the team's just happy to have him there as a mentor. He's a leader. He's like the father figure of these young DBs, man, because you nailed it. They're very young. Womack, Luter, Lenore, Thomas. They're all younger than 25 years old. So it's good to have a guy like JV who's in Bosa. What he said this week is he's an inspiration to this team. Like they look up to Jason Verrett. They had his picture plastered on Levi's Stadium yesterday for practice. Like they welcomed him back. 49ers posted welcome home Jason Verrett yesterday on their social media. So like this guy means a lot to the team. He may not play a lot depending on how the injuries go. And again, they do have Logan Ryan. They got Eric Harris they signed too. So the depth in the secondary this year is insane, dude. Insane. So it's just nice to have JV. I think honestly, they probably like, you know what, Jason Verrett, we love you, have you on the team. You're going to be with us, be a veteran. If we need you, we need you. If not, we don't. But guess what? If we win a Super Bowl, you're getting a ring, man. This is a guy that deserves a Super Bowl ring for all the hard work he's put through his years. So if the 49ers win a Super Bowl, I think that's what they wanted to do is say, hey, man, JV, you're a champion in our books. Ride with us. I love it, man. He's a dog.
And for the record, after we beat the Seahawks, you were I had no idea we signed Jason Verrett, but I saw on your Instagram page you posted that video, Jason Verrett, in the tunnel, just congratulating everybody and just to see how much love the team has for him and how happy they were to see him back.
Yeah.
Speaks a whole lot. I mean, people, the locker room vibe in the NFL, in my opinion, is extremely underrated.
Yeah.
Like the 49ers look for that as one of the big qualities in terms of like any player they bring along. When Chase Young was first with the team, that was one of the first things he brought up. He just kept going on about how the vibe in the locker room was elite, and so much better than what he was used to. Some Commanders fans got mad at him for saying that, they got offended, but it is what it is.
Family.
Day. Yep.
They're a family. Like, look at, they love it. They're like brothers, man. They truly are like a family. It's like, it's nobody, it's unmatched. Yeah. And like you said, that video was cool. I saw it. I was like, oh man, that's a cool moment. They were just like embracing him. And actually right before that, I posted that because I found out they signed him that night. He was in the locker room with those. What the hell? He just casually watching the Niner game. And then I realized it made sense. I was like, okay. John Lynch probably called him like, yo, Mooney Ward's down. Get your ass to the stadium. We signing you right now, bro. But the crazy thing was I saw it like the news. It says like, I think NBC Sports posted it is like per Matt Miyoko. And I'm looking through Twitter. Matt Miyoko took his ass to Threads. He's on the worst social media platform because he has like some political beef with Elon Musk. So he quit Twitter, bro. This man quit Twitter.
Oh, Miyoko quit Twitter?
Yeah, bro. He quit. Look at his last tweets like
really?
in November. So I go to Threads and I'm pulling up and I'm like, sure enough, the 49ers have signed Jason Verrett to the practice squad. So I was like, here we go. We're going to break this news on Twitter, bro. And then everybody was like, fucking Jason Verrett.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I was like, this bro don't even post on Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like, per Matt Miyoko. And then I forget who asked me in the comment. They're like, where's Matt Miyoko? Where's this tweet? Where did Matt Miyoko? I was like, I got it from Threads, bro.
I was going to drop another name, but I'm going to stay away from it. I want to be politically correct here. In terms of people who are no longer on Twitter, I think you may know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
People who use aliases. Yeah. A shout out to John LaJoy. He's here. Says, hi, everyone. Let's go Niners. 49 throwback. What's up, bro? He says, Rogers from Texas. I think you used to live in Texas, right?
I was born in Texas. I was born in El Paso. Yeah. But I was raised in, I've been all over. I was born in El Paso, Texas. I was raised in Las Vegas. But before I got to Vegas, my family lived in like LA and Orange County for like 2 years.
Oh, wow, I didn't know about that.
Then they went, so it was Texas, it was El Paso to to Irvine and Orange County, and then to Vegas, and then we lived there for like our whole life. And then I moved to California in
I know you
2017.
always talk about Vegas. I knew
Yeah.
the Vegas part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else that we didn't cover yet? I know we are going to hit the predictions up later. People were talking about Randy Gregory in the chat. It's good that we got Randy Gregory.
He's been underrated, man.
Yeah, he looked really good last game. Actually, he was kind of quiet in some of the other games. Last game, he looked really nice. Farrell was looking a lot better too, in my opinion. Clelin Farrell.
Yeah,
those Chase Young, and like I mentioned, like Chase Young's not even on the field, but I just see an improvement from these guys, and I think they're saving Chase Young for the bigger games. If I stand corrected, because I don't see him getting like a lot of heavy reps.
I mean, I just think it's a rotation, and that's what they needed is just more guys to go in there and rotate and keep their legs fresh. Because I think people forget, like, and this is one of my biggest takes from this offseason was I said, okay, yeah, I know everybody's high on Drake Jackson. I said, look, they lost Samson Ebukam, they lost Charles Omenihu, and Jordan Willis. Those were three key guys that were rotationary players, and not all of them had like big games, but they were all important. Like one guy would get a sack one week, the next week one of the other guys. Like they all had like 5-6 sacks, between them, like 5 sacks, 6 sacks, 4 sacks, somewhere around there, like within that range. But they weren't like getting heavy reps. They would split each other. But that was like a lot of snaps. I think they all had like over 150, something crazy. Like it were basically having to replace hundreds of snaps when you lose those three guys. Drake Jackson couldn't handle all of that. So you had to bring in extra guys. Clelin Farrell's one. They tried Austin Bryant. That experiment didn't go well. Okay, they brought in a few other guys. Just didn't go well. Drake just wasn't popping after the first week. So then they're like, screw it. We need more guys to replace the guys we lost. So boom, Randy Gregory. And they still needed one more. So it was Chase Young. So look at what they did. You had Charles Omenihu. You replace him with Randy Gregory. Okay, you had Samson Ebukam. You replace him with Chase Young. You had Jordan Willis. You replaced him with Clelin Farrell. Yeah. So that's basically what they did. So yeah, Chase Young might not get all the big reps, but they're basically just re-emulating what they had in the past. And now they have three guys that can go out there and help Nick Bosa. And these guys are better, I think, than the three that they lost. So if you really think about it, man, their defensive line is in a way better spot. And again, with all that pressure, it gives their secondary a little bit more time and a little less pressure on them. And it's boom, cover and rush, cover and rush, cover and rush. Sideline Steve, baby, he's cooking.
Yes, he sure is. And back to I mentioned Ambry Thomas earlier.
Yeah.
That what impressed me. I mean, I know he got beat by DK Metcalf and all that for that touchdown. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry, man. When I was watching that game live, he looked like he was about to bat that pass down. I was like, okay, Ambry's about to make a play on this. But at the end of the day, what stopped it was Drew Lock actually made the throw of his life on that play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The accuracy was extra special on that play, and that's how the NFL is. You're not gonna win every rep. You know what I mean? And DK Metcalf, he got that big touchdown, right? But what did he do after that? Well, he
shut
maybe
down.
One more pass, maybe, and that was it.
Yeah, after that play, Diamondre Lenore shut him down, and it's crazy because, and that's why I think Demo's so good, man, because he started the game in the slot. All right. And again, he's been playing the slot since they shifted the lineup, and Ambry's been playing great outside with Mooney Ward. Mooney Ward got hurt. This man was on the bike trying to get his ass back. He's like, I got to get it again. He tried to test that. The groin was just, it was too painful. So they threw Diamondre Lenore on the outside. In the middle of the game, you go from one position to the other, and he held DK Metcalf. Like, that to me was cold, bro. Like, that did not get enough talk through the week, as everybody was hyping up everybody else, which is fine. But Diamondre Lenore going from nickel to the outside and holding a top flight wide receiver to basically nothing was massive, dude. Diamondre Lenore is a straight freaking dog, man. Got to give that man his flowers. And I love Ambry too. But yeah, man, Lenore, bro, that is crazy. To go from the slot to play the outside and just strap down their best receiver. That's crazy. That's great stuff.
He's doing really, really nice, man. Those two guys, I'm really, really impressed with them. But you mentioned Drake Jackson earlier. We're kind of bouncing around, but Drake Jackson, I kind of made a joke to Aaron for 49ers First Takes because I was like, this is the point in time when Drake Jackson was still playing, and this is before we made the Chase Young trade, and I was like, man, I have a feeling those 3 sacks that he got in week 1 might be the only sacks of the season that he has. And lo and behold, not too long after that, they favored Chase Young and they put Drake Jackson on IR and they called it a day. So I don't know what the future holds for him next year. It's going to be very interesting. Chris Osorno is here. He says, go Sharks, go Niners, woo. Terrence Davis, shout out to Terrence Davis, says John Lynch is GM of the year. Book it. What do you think?
I mean, look at what he's done, man. I mean, mid-season, they needed Randy Gregory, boom. Mid-season, they needed Chase Young, boom. They needed more depth, boom. They are putting up the. I mean, I can't argue with it. I mean, there's a couple other GMs, but I mean, look at this team. John Lynch, he's figured it out, man. He knows. Okay, you stack these comp picks, you can use them, trade them for players. You basically getting players for nothing, and they're adding value to your team. Great players. Gregory and Chase Young have been very, very good for this team, like we just mentioned over the last couple of minutes. So, yeah, I think he's definitely in line to get GM of the year. And every year, John Lynch has gotten better as a GM. You know, he just knows what he's got to do. He's got the contracts done with the big players. Like, he brings all his stars back, you know, countless times. You know, it might have taken a little bit of time. The negotiations are tough, man, but he's gotten Kittle, Fred Warner, Debo, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams. Look at all the contracts he's locked down, him and Parag. This year they got Brandon Ayuk, you know, to get figured out, and I'm sure they will. But the 49ers continue to keep their core players. You know, they get rid of a few players here and there that have to go, but they retool, man, and they bring back players that are key to this team. And then if they lose a guy, they replace him with someone good. Like, as much as I love Jimmy Ward, and I hated seeing him go, you know, you got a young star in Ji'Ayir Brown who's going to be the future of this team. So, you know, you lose a guy like Jimmy, and now you get a young star in Ji'Ayir Brown, you know, and, you know, it's tough. You don't want to lose your favorite players, but 49ers GM John Lynch has done a great job of replacing talent and then adding talent. I mean, look at Christian McCaffrey last year. It's got to be the best midseason trade of all time. Of all time.
The Tyshawn Gibson signing from last year is highly underrated, man. They nobody even talked about it when they signed him, and boom, he's covering at the tops of the league with the top safeties in the league, man. We got a comment from Mimi B for you, Raj.
What's up, Mimi B? Good evening. Good evening. Bang, bang. Not a gang.
Let's go. We got Douglas Delgado says Chase Young extension coming soon. That's gonna be very interesting. See how that plays out.
I hope they do.
I hope they do sign him, but then people say, "Oh, we might lose Ayuk then." So I don't know how.
I don't think they're going to lose Ayuk. But this is the thing. So I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but if they're going to try to extend Chase Young, it's going to have to happen within the first 2 months after the offseason, because he's a free agent. He doesn't have a contract with the team. He's not going to sit around. He's going to test the free agent. I mean, he's a free agent, so he's testing the market, and he's going to get offers. So if the 49ers want him, they're going to have to be able to get him within the next couple months after the season. So that means they also are going to have to start thinking about Brandon Ayuk right after the season's over. So they got a lot to think about. But I think if they really, really want Chase Young, they'll try to bring him back. They'll figure it out. And I think if Chase Young really wants to stay with the team, which I think he will, because you could just tell, man, him and Nick Bosa are having so much fun together. Like, just even if they don't get a stat or a sack or whatever the case, like, you just see them. They're always pointing to each other. They're like flexing. Nick Bosa's like looking at, like, yeah, there was a picture. I think Chris Mezzavilla, the KNBR guy, he posted a picture, and like Chase Young is doing this, Nick Bosa's doing this. I was like, yeah, it's fucking crazy. These guys love each other, dude. Like
Buckeye bookends.
You cannot break these two up. You got to keep them.
I know. We're spoiled to have made that trade happen, and they're best friends, and now everything's panning out on the field. We have to make that happen. We're gonna go through the comments really quick. We got Julius Cowie says Lenore was also a 5th round pick, like Kufunga. Shout out to Julius. We got some love from S. I'm gonna say S the Youngin, if I say that right. There's hella Niner fans in LA County. Shout out from the IE.
Yeah, yes,
appreciate you. Yeah, I lived in Southern California for 2 years, and it was one frustrating thing back when I lived there was really hard to find any Niner merchandise. It was like from 2006 to 2008. So I don't know how it is now, but we got another OC person. I lived in the OC at one point, actually.
Okay.
G8 Fitted Eric says shout out to the OC. There you go.
Shout out OC, baby, Irvine.
Yeah. We got Ariel Muro says it's crazy how limited the Kyle Shanahan offense was because he didn't trust the quarterback until Brock took the reins. It's finally unleashing at full speed, and we can witness it in all its glory with Brock. Don't you see a new Shanahan this year? Because
he's so happy. He's so happy. He trusts him. He lets him do his thing. He's just like, you could just see it. Like, there's Kyle's celebrating before the touchdown even happened. I've seen it so many times where Kyle's like, he's hyped up. He knows the pass is going to be a touchdown. He's happy after the press conferences. He has less gray hairs. He looks a little younger this year, man. So yeah,
he's clean shaved now. He's not showing the beard no more.
Absolutely. Kyle is happy. He that is the best comment of the night. And Ariel hit it right. We've said this before. Kyle trusts his quarterback. He trusts Brock Purdy, guys. He trusts him, and that is huge. Yeah, absolutely love it.
Totally agree. There's an interesting question. because they were talking about Jason Verrett being on the practice squad and how he deserves a Super Bowl ring. And just to answer your question, it says, do practice squad guys get rings if the team wins the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
indeed. From Mazal Cal Peterson. There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody. We try to get everybody's questions and chats if we miss somebody. Just that there's so much out there to go around. And let's talk about the predictions. We got predictions, score predictions. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I already got mine written down.
Oh, you got it. Tell me your score. You got it.
So we got 35-10. We're gonna get the Dirty Pretty 30 in Arizona.
Okay.
I know Kyler Murray likes to run around, and James Conner may have something to prove, but this D line is at a much better stage to what they were last time we played Arizona, and I think we're ready to kill in Arizona.
Okay, I agree. I think this team is locked and loaded. I don't think they're going to let this game be a trap game, which a lot of people think. You can't take anybody lightly. I definitely think Arizona's a game that's going to compete. This is a division game. They're going to play their ass off. Kyler's played good since he's come back. Respect to him. ACL injury is not easy to come back from, and he's played pretty well. They're banged up a little bit. They're not a elite team this year, but they're a competitive team. They've won some games that I was like, I didn't expect them to win that game. But I think they'll fight hard. But this is Brock Purdy's homecoming. He's going to be locked and loaded. The last time a 49ers quarterback had a homecoming game, it was a great performance by that quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo in Chicago, he always did good in his homecoming game. And now we got Brock Purdy in Arizona. I just think that it's going to be a beautiful game for him. Brandon Ayuk's going crazy. Deebo Samuel's going crazy. CMC, I think, did CMC get 4 touchdowns last time he played in Arizona earlier this season? So, I just think that this game is going to be too much for Arizona. The Niners have too much firepower. I think their defense might be a little – they might get up a little points because of the run game, but I really think that Kalia Davis and Kinlaw are clicking, and I think the 49ers are going to win this game 38-13. I just think they're going to cook it. Yeah.
There you go. We're going to cook up some birds. The bird buffet continues in Arizona. So we can go. It's a lot of fun out here just beating all these bird teams. We got John V from the Locker Room Rant. Check out his YouTube channel. It says, like and subscribe. Tell your friends to follow so we can go all be friends.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, John V's been on the channel multiple times. I'd like to have him back on.
I got to get John on my channel one of these days.
Oh, you should,
you know
man.
what?
John, you should.
Big John, you got to come on the show this week, man. Maybe we'll link up. We'll do a show together this week.
Hit him up. Hit him up. He's on Instagram. He's on Twitter. He's not hard to find.
We've talked before. He's my boy.
There you go. Yeah, John's awesome, man.
Locker Room Rant.
So Chris Osorno says CMC may get 20 touchdowns this game.
He might. Okay. He might hit 20 touchdowns for the season on this game. I think him and Raheem Mostert are neck and neck for most touchdowns in the NFL. So.
They are.
Yeah.
Two very explosive offenses. Two offenses that have tons of weapons and both run the West Coast offense, the Shanahan offense. We got Randy Elite Daytona says 72-6. Are you inspired? Did the Raider game inspire you? I totally forgot there was a game yesterday, and I woke up today to see the score that the Raiders put up 63 points on the board.
Bro,
Didn't they get shut out last week?
They lost 3-0. They took out all their aggression. I'm sitting here. Actually, I was streaming last night with Aaron. I have the game, and I'm like, every time we're talking, I was like, he scored again. He scored again. Like in my mind, I'm like, holy crap, they scored so many points. I think they had like 42 at halftime. I was like, this is crazy. And then, of course, today, Chargers fired their coach. It took them getting beat down like 60-something point to have finally fired this damn coach. That's crazy, dude.
I can't think of a more underachieving team throughout my career as a football fan than the Chargers. I mean, this team, they've definitely picked up talent. They've drafted talent. They draft well, but
they have good team. They have great players. Khalil
I don't know
Mack.
what they do. Man.
I mean, they draft some studs, man. Asante Samuel, they had Joey Bosa. You got Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen. You got some players on this team that you're like, how are they losing?
At least they're losing in style in that pretty stadium there.
I know. That stadium's beautiful. But my favorite thing was, and people showed this last night, because a couple weeks ago, there's like a bad defensive performance. So then the coach, their former coach, Brandon Staley's like, I'm controlling the defense. I'm the one that's going to start taking over I'm controlling the defense. This is my playbook. I'm calling the plays on defense. Yeah, and then they got dropped. They got 60 points dropped on their head. So I forgot who posted the video. They posted the video of him saying, "This is my call of defense. I call the shots." And then boom, it's like a few moments later, and it's like boom, the Chargers have fired Brandon Staley. I was like, oh god, I
You know what's
absolutely
funny
love it,
because Joe
dude.
Staley put out some tweet. He's
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
yeah, I
people are
posted that
telling me
last
that I'm
night.
fired or something like that." And
So let me see. I have it on my Instagram. He said, Joe Staley says, just a public service announcement. I am not currently coaching the Chargers. I am not associated with that mess. Please stop asking me to be fired. Please stop asking for me to be fired. People were probably adding him saying fire Joe Staley, but Brandon Staley is the coach.
that's funny, yeah.
That was
So
funny, dude.
more predictions up in here. We got Terrence Davis says 31-9. Low Jackson says I'm 37-9.
Okay,
We
okay.
got Julius Callaway 35-13. And Low Jackson says rotisserie chicken. Yes, Bird Buffet rotisserie chicken. Susan D is here. She says I'm kind of on the fence about this one. Not sure why. Some people think it might be a trap game. I just don't see it happening. I think this team is too focused. Somebody says 23-20.
Oh,
I think
God.
that's a trap game type score.
A heart attack in Arizona. I will be going crazy if that's the case, man. Any other bold predictions for this game,
Bold
Bash?
predictions.
Give me some. Give me some.
You said CMC had 3 touchdowns. I think we finally see a pick six. Who gets it? Let's say Ji'Ayir Brown. Ji'Ayir Brown gets his pick six. Let's go.
Ji'Ayir Brown. I like it.
Tigger.
Like it. I like that. Tig with the pick six. Let's go. I like that. It's a good prediction. I have Nick Bosa rocking 3 sacks this game. I think he's in his zone, man. Hat trick for Nick Bosa. Get him up to 12.5. This guy's cooking, man, right at the right time. I think Nick Bosa goes for 3 sacks. And I think that Brock Purdy throws 5 touchdowns.
Oh, wow. 5 touchdowns for Purdy in Arizona. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, homecoming,
it could happen. Hey, you know what? It could definitely happen because Arizona is worse than the league in pass defense.
I know it.
They're at the bottom.
I think Brock Purdy's throwing 5 touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. 5. Woo!
Wow, damn. Yeah. This could be the game. So Chris Orsono says LMAO for real. Raiders are not even the best final wild card team. Yeah, it's kind of funny with the Raiders, man. I don't know. It's like one of my my cousin who's like an older brother to me is a Raider fan. So I have so much respect for him. So it's like I feel like, but I grew up trash talking the Raiders all the time too. So just kind of funny. I kind of have this. It's a hate relationship, but there's a little bit of love for the Raiders, a little bit of respect for the Raiders. But it's I don't know, man. It's just when they only put up 0 points in the game. I mean, what am I gonna say? You know,
I was dying, bro.
63 points is very impressive because they don't have an impressive roster.
You go from 63. You go from 0 points to scoring 63 in the next. What? How do you do that? How do you do that? It's crazy. Mimi, shout out to Mimi. She says, "Do you think we'll see JV?" So yeah, we talked about him. I honestly think they might elevate him tomorrow, depending on how these injuries are looking. If Travis Ward can't play, I think they'll at least elevate him to the active roster because tomorrow, every day, the day before game day, they always do their roster elevations. So I wouldn't be surprised if they elevate him. But honestly, I don't think that he'll play too much initially unless there's like a big injury. I think the 49ers are happy with their younger players. Maybe he'll play if there's a really serious issue for Mooney Ward not playing tomorrow or Sunday. But honestly, I think Sam Womack might get the call or Gerald Luter if he's 100% healthy. But I would love to see Jason Verrett on Sunday, man. And could you imagine Jason Verrett comes back and he gets an interception on Sunday? Oh, my God. That would be the craziest play. Oh,
that'd be nice. I really like Jason Verrett.
I love that guy.
There's some Niner fans out there who question the move because they say he gets hurt too much. Look, we're not asking him to be the guy, and I think we'll be just fine.
Dog, I love that guy. I just like on a personal note because I talk to some of these players behind the scenes, or they've talked to me. They see my page, and sometimes we have comments and stuff, and especially if I've posted about them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, cool stat. Thanks for shouting me." Like, this is one of my favorite players I've ever interacted with. He's like so humble. He's always been like super nice to me, and he always like is just. God, man, and he's always just like, hey, man, appreciate what you do for the night. Like, he's told me that. He's like, yo, man, keep doing your thing. I respect you. And when he was like a free agent, he goes, hey, can you post these stats for me? I was like, absolutely. He posted his stats, trying to get him some recognition. And the guy's just so incredibly nice, dude. I can see why the players love this guy. He's a super nice guy. Jimmy Ward, too, he was one of the same guys. He, like, totally is a respectful person, like, behind the scenes. And you could just tell, like, people gravitate toward those guys. So yeah, shout out to Jason Verrett, man. I am rooting for this guy, and I hope that he if he does play, I want to see him get an interception because that would be one of the coolest moments of his career, man, of this season, man. He deserves it.
Yeah, I'm surprised he came. I didn't know he had aspirations to come back and play. I honestly didn't know that was in the cards.
Dude. He said that he didn't want to retire. I was like, God, man, every freaking injury that you've had and that doesn't cross your mind, like his determination is unremarkable. Like it's unbelievable. And that's why I feel like when Nick Bosa was like, this guy's a inspiration. That's why, like, this guy didn't even think about retiring. He just was grinding so he could come back. Unbelievable.
Yeah. That reminds me really, really quick before we end the show. I was just laughing thinking about Nick Bosa saying that they put out the blueprint to beat the Eagles and Seth Joyner got hella mad at Bosa for that, remember? And then all of a sudden the Cowboys beat the Eagles, and then Seth Joyner goes back on his word. Well, first Seth Joyner was telling Bosa that he was getting owned and getting worked by Lane Johnson. But then he went back and said, oh, well, now the Eagles, I think the Eagles are a bad football team that disguise themselves as a good football team. So he just totally flipped it.
Dude, that was funny. So funny because let me pull this up. I posted this last week. His comments were I was like, this man, what did Nick Bosa do to you? Nick Bosa kept it up.
I lost Raj for a second. I don't know if he's coming back, but let me follow up on these chats really, really quick. Appreciate everybody watching. Raj will probably be back. Worst case scenario, will probably text me and say he can't get back on. So what do we got? We got C right here, or period C. Oh, here comes Raj. He's trying to come back. He says JV will probably play in garbage time, and Raj is back. We lost you, but now you are here.
We lost for a second, but yeah. So basically, he's like, Lane Johnson was owning you. What are you talking about? You didn't put a blueprint on anybody. He was like, STF. Like, he was going off on it. He had Twitter fingers. And then if you watch the game the next week, the Cowboys did exactly what the 49ers did to him and beat him. They whooped him, kicked him. I loved it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And John B says, hell yes, I'm still holding out hope for JV. That's from one JV to another.
Yes, sir.
And, he goes, dude's injury history basically makes him free, LOL. Hey, whatever works. So whatever works. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Anything you want to unplug really, really quick before we get going on the show?
No, man, that's about it. Well, actually, yeah. So Residency, shout out to Residency. You guys know the hats. If you want to get your merch, get some Residency hats. Links in the Instagram bio. Use your code RSF49ers. Sleeper Fantasy, sponsored by Sleeper Fantasy now, Bash. And, this last weekend, ran my first promo with them. And if you would have used my picks, you would have won some money. So I'm going to be doing another promo this Sunday. Code RSF49ers. Win some money, man. Go. Is
there a video that you have on your Instagram page for that, or?
It was like a swipe post. It was like a carousel post. It was a Brock Purdy post, and then at the end, you can see all like the props and stuff. I'll do another one this week, and then I shared it to my story. So make some money.
And for those that aren't on Roger's Instagram, he also has the 12 days of Joe Montana, right?
Yeah, so we're doing
the Gold Bar whiskey promo.
Yeah. So we're every day actually for the next. Today was day 5, so we got 7 more days of Gold Bar whiskey promotion. Every day we're giving away a $100 gift card. So if you look at the post, you just comment what it says or whatever, just interact with the post. And then my man Ken from 49ers Tailgate, he'll randomly generate, whoever's comments, and it selects one of those people, and you have a chance to win a $100 gift card. So you might as well, man. $100 for the holidays. That's good.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
I think on the promos you feature like a Joe Montana highlight or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
So every day, so that's what we did. It was a 12 days of Joe Montana. We sat there, we picked 12 different plays, and then we picked 12 different Gold Bar drinks to like basically pair it to promote them. And also, shout out Joe Montana because he's got the Gold Bar whiskey, and it's just a cool promotion to help them out. And they wanted to connect with me, and we got a big presence on Instagram. So pretty cool, man. I love it.
And they're flying you out to the game, right?
Yeah. They got me going out to Arizona. They got my room and board paid, so I'll be happy to be there. And then the cool thing about it is next year I'll definitely be working with them more, and maybe in the playoffs. So it was a good opportunity, and I think it's going to be opening more doors for me in the future. So it's pretty cool, man. Yeah.
There you go. So just want to thank you, everybody on the chats, on both channels, on the RSF 49ers live chat, on my channel, 49er Minded. If you're not subscribed to either channel, like and subscribe on both channels. On tomorrow, I'm going to be on the 49ers First Takes channel with Aaron. And then on Sunday, I'm going to do a post-game show. Probably we're talking maybe around 6 o'clock or so. And the information will be on my community tab on my YouTube channel. So
Sweet.
check it out.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Raja. Always great collabing with you. Shout out to the sponsor, Go Bar Whiskey. Thank you guys for watching 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. Let's beat them birds. Keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er Minded. Peace. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on, 49 faithful. Let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We got to do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We got to get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.